Now we're going to get to a little bit of like what doesn't belong and why. And first, we're going to hit the freak of nature, the freaks of freaks. I mean, the guy is clearly forget in the conversation for the best player in the NFL, best quarterback in the NFL, all those things. He's hands down one of the best physical freaks of the NFL. If people saw this guy in person, all right, 6'5", 245, and doesn't have to lift a weight to be 245 or anything. I mean, look at this. I mean, that ball is like crushed. I mean, it's like, don't look, Steph Curry hit a 40-footer and just turned around, boom, splash. Josh Allen is a phenomenal athlete who can beat you a lot of different ways. And that there was at the Micah Hyde charity softball event. Cool thing. Hey, Buffalo, is there a team that's better with charity than the Buffalo Bills and that group right there? All right. Here we go. Which doesn't belong and why? I don't have Mike Florio here to do this, but here's the first one. We got 3 guys here: Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. These are, current Super Bowl winning quarterbacks who were drafted by Major League Baseball. All right, we got, Kyler Murray, Jameis Winston, also drafted by the MLB. But, all right, the guy I'm going to go with as far as Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, which one doesn't belong and why? I mean, I'm going to go with Tom Brady doesn't belong. Why? One, he's like the GOAT and kind of in a different stratosphere than the other 2 guys as far as Mount Rushmore, stars in our country. Brady has reached a level that not even Mahomes or Russell Wilson are at yet. But also, I'll just say, hey, Brady, I know a good athlete, but like Mahomes and Wilson, I could really see them being like a top-tier baseball player. Can play the field and be really special there. I mean, they're great movers that way. They really are. Brady, pitcher, I don't know. I can't see Brady running around at shortstop or second base or center field and really running down a whole lot of fly balls or grounders through the hole. Mahomes and Russell Wilson, I could see that. But I'm sure Brady can hit the ball for sure because hitting has a lot of the same similarities as throwing a football. You can see here, it's natural. And then I could, of course, see him being a phenomenal pitcher. I mean, Brady, his arm doesn't get enough credit. Brady's arm, as I will say, as long as I can, is it's an all-time arm. It's great arm. It's still a great arm. He's still throwing lasers around the field. So I'll go with Brady there. You see him there doing a little BP at the Boston Red Sox game. All right, next one. Which doesn't belong and why? Daniel Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, or Jalen Hurts? I think the one I'm going to go with, and then these are quarterbacks. Sorry, I should have done this a little bit better. These are quarterbacks entering make or break seasons in 2022, which doesn't belong and why? Daniel Jones, Tua, Jalen Hurts. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts here. All right? And I'm just kind of digesting this here as I look at it as well. I'm going to go Jalen Hurts because I think he's the guy on the most solid ground right now as far as these guys are concerned. Tua, hey, I know they want to make it work and they're trying to do it all, but you're crazy to think that everybody's skeptical. Everybody. Dolphins, other than Tuanon, everybody is skeptical about whether that's going to work, even with the talent and how good of a player can he ultimately be. Daniel Jones, the same thing. He doesn't even have quite the same support Tua has in Miami. And if you were watching Chris Sims on Button earlier, I kind of explained this. It's shaky. I believe in Daniel Jones. He has had no support around him. He's had the worst offensive line in football, no doubt. And it's been a lot of different coaches and coordinators that he's had to deal with. But yes, am I sitting here? Can you sit here and go, oh, yeah, he's on solid ground. He's definitely the future. They didn't give him a 5th-year option. This is a big year for him. He's got to prove it. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, listen, we know there's questions, sure, but the team they have is phenomenal, all right? I think the coaching staff does believe in the man and the leader and the athlete, and they know there's some things he's got to work on with throwing and everything there. But also what's, I think, a little different is there just seems to be, the fan base in Philadelphia believes in Jalen Hurts. I guess that's where I think it's a little different. I know in Miami, Tuanon believes in it, but I don't think the whole fan base is sold that he's the future. So that's where I'll go with Jalen Hurts right now. And, to that fact, maybe compared to Daniel Jones and Tua as well, it's not going to be maybe as dependent on him beating teams or beating the public perception with his right arm. Jalen Hurts, they're going to have one of the best running games in football. There's no doubt. I don't need to see it or whatever. It's the best offensive line in the game. They're going to be good at that. So he's not going to have that type of pressure to maybe always deliver with his right arm and throwing in the pocket. So I guess that's why he doesn't belong and why. All right, we're going to switch gears here. Here we're going to go to Arthur Smith. All right, Arthur Smith, he's made some good quotes here as of lately. And, this is one thing I always say. Like, coaches aren't in on tanking. It gets put on their gravestone as far as, what their record was. And people are asking Arthur Smith, and here's the quote. I'll read it. This is a waste of your time and my time if you want to talk about 2023. He doesn't want to hear it. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, that a team would try not to win football games. If you don't, there's going to be consequences, to Chris Sims' point. Yeah, you're going to get fired even though they're telling you to tank. Okay, you're at the top of the draft. I got it. But you're in a very transactional phase of the National Football League right now. Trades in the draft, trades for quarterback. I want to win. I have an urgency to win. Arthur Smith, I love his message always. He's kind of like Mike Vrabel. It's always tough, and there's no wiggle room, and we're pushing forward, and there's no excuses or bullshit or anything like that. And that's where I do respect Arthur Smith. And ignorance is bliss. He's just going to keep coaching the team, and we're going to be tough, and that's where we're going to go. But I will say, first off, he did a phenomenal year last year. Phenomenal. They exceeded expectations. 7-10, that team. All right. And honestly, I think that team, that roster is worse. It's worse this year. So that's where I don't see Atlanta having a better year than last year. I do look at this as a transition year, rebuild, retool, however you want to phrase it. I know that Atlanta's not going to say that, but you can't sit here and talk about the Atlanta Falcons and just go, oh, well, Marcus Mariota is definitely their future. They got that, and they're going to start to build the rest of the team around him. No, they got issues across the board. They do. You can look at the running back position and go, nothing that's special there. Receiver, they helped it out with Drake London, sure. But damn, no Calvin Ridley. They've lost Russell Gage to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Offensive line, negative Ghost Rider. It's towards the bottom of football in that category. Yeah, they got Kyle Pitts, freak show. Defense, hey, Grady Jarrett, yeah, like him. Not a lot of difference makers on that front seven, though. Deion Jones, still a good football player, but lost their best middle linebacker, Oluokun, to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Secondary, not a lot of special there either, other than A.J. Terrell. So that's where, again, Arthur Smith, I think, is going to continue to get those type of questions because I think, like me and a lot of other people, Atlanta on paper ain't that impressive. And I think a lot of people are going, well, I don't know what to expect of you guys this year. So is this a move for the future or something like that? So that'll be interesting. All right, so now here we go. Last thing of which doesn't belong and why. Second-year coaches that had losing records in their first season. Arthur Smith, Robert Saleh, Dan Campbell. This one here, I'm going to go with Robert Saleh and the New York Jets. For this reason. Quarterback one. They got their quarterback. They got their future. It's year two. Can Zach Wilson make that leap that we've seen so many of the good quarterbacks make from that year one to year two where you go, damn, he's good. Okay. A la Josh Allen. So, first year to second year. And I think second year he was 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. They went to the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes was awesome right away, but he was even better the second year. There's no doubt about that. Joe Burrow, of course, last year. And then I also look, as far as Robert Saleh is concerned, to Dan Campbell, and I like a lot of the things the Lions have done in Dan Campbell. I respect Arthur Smith, like I said. But Saleh's, they got talent, the Jets. It's young. I understand that. They're not battle-tested. But, again, there'd be another team I'd put a little asterisk, star next to go, watch out. The Jets could surprise some people. I'm not expecting them to go to the playoffs. But do I think they can maybe flirt with a 500 record? I do. I'm going to say that. They got a tough division, an incredibly hard schedule for the third year in a row. All right, so that's going to play against them. But, damn, Zach Wilson, Breece Hall, Michael Carter, pretty good tight ends. Offensive line's going to be better as long as Mekhi Becton can be healthy. It's going to be actually really good. Corey Davis. Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson. Holy crap, Batman. That's a pretty good offense. And then defensively, hey, they were ravaged by injury last year. And they're going to be good on that side of the ball, too. You got Sauce Gardner and Jermaine Johnson in the second round. They got a lot of good other role players on the defensive front. I think they address some of the needs with the secondary. So that's why I go with Robert Saleh as far as which doesn't belong and why.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.